If you didn't believe in Giannis before this game, it's time to start believing now. I've been campaigning for Giannis Antetokounmpo is my MVP for a pretty long time now, and I think tonight was just showcasing why. Now I understand. It's a real high chance, it's an outside chance that he even wins this thing. With Jokic and Embiid, the narrative, the storyline, they're in favor to win an award like this. I don't think, because I've talked about the goalposts and it's shifted for so many players. One season is winning, one season is advanced stats, one season is individual per game stats. So I'm not really sure what we're basing our MVP criteria off of. But beyond that, I think the Bucks had a great game. And we look at this team, this Milwaukee Bucks team, how did they beat the 76ers? It's 104 to 117. That's what the screen shows. But I think watching the game from dribble to dribble, we saw something deeper than that. I saw Joel Embiid get in foul trouble early, and then all we did, seriously, in that entire fourth quarter, our offense ran through the low post. It was Bobby Portis, a little bit of Brook Lopez, but mostly Giannis. Giannis did his thing and went crazy in this game. Post fadeaways, getting out on the break, dunking on people, doing it all, and playing defense like we know he does. So how did they get into this action? Why was the low post where they exposed? Because this is a long team, but still, how do we get there? So now we had Javon Carter, we had Jrue Holiday. Those guys, they're coming up the court. They run the pick and roll, and we got guys like Paul Reed, we got Niang. Looking at all these guys who are playing for Philadelphia, Jalen McDaniels, they can't guard Bobby Portis and Giannis. And Giannis just had his pick of the litter with everybody. PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris, none of those guys can guard him. And like I said, once Embiid got out of the game, it was feasting time. It was really time to eat. And once you get that mismatch, all you have to do is get into your shot. It can be a fade. It can be getting to the lane, dunking on somebody, drawing free throws. It was just a rough game defensively. And I think when we talk about offensively, when I watch the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm real interested because they say we can play big and we can play small. And I talk about so many teams playing that positionless basketball, but it's a fair case that the Milwaukee Bucks have some of the best positionless basketball in the NBA when we talk about it. If we're playing small and Giannis is that center, we saw a lot of that lineup tonight in this game. If we're playing small, we're not small. Giannis Antetokounmpo he runs about 6'11", 7 feet. And he's the biggest guy on the court. But he has guard-like skills. He has the handle. He worked on his three-point shot. We can respect it a bit. He's not really a big-time three-point shooter. But still, he can get to the rim. He can get into the mid-range. He's really improved that. So this is our big lineup. Who's playing like this? And we talk comparison, we look at that death lineup. When the Warriors, when they had KD, they were playing small, but they still had KD on the floor. So you still got that rim protection. And that's why this is such a deadly lineup. Some people are making the case that Jrue Holiday is one of the best two-way players in the NBA. I'm not really arguing against that. Just had his career high in points the other night, and he's playing defense consistently. Let's look at Harden's turnovers, because I think he had a good bit. Had 5 turnovers. They were giving him problems. And let me tell you about the unsung hero of this Milwaukee team. Let's get to this unsung hero. Got him right here. Power forward, off the bench, 17 minutes. Look, he has 0 points. Trust me, that plus minus -3, it's not pretty. The stat line is ugly. Above all things, it's ugly. But Jay Crowder played some basketball tonight, and I think he's going to be a key. I wouldn't really call him a journeyman, but he's been on a couple teams. The key thing about Jay Crowder is every team that he's been on, whether it be a Phoenix, whether it be a Miami, he's been a key contributor. He's played high-level playoff basketball season after season after season. So now I think we get him onto this team. We get in the playoffs. Look at this bench. We got Bobby, we got Javon Carter, we got Joe Ingles, a 3-and-D guy. We're seriously locked and loaded, ready to go. And still got Goran Dragic if you need a scoring night. If Jrue Holiday gets in some foul trouble. And even if Javon Carter gets in some foul trouble, Pat Connaughton's still on that team. This is a very deep team. And we look at those bench guys, only 4 guys. They went 9 deep. That's not bad. If we can go 9 deep in the playoffs, and these are all solid contributors, not even a Milwaukee Bucks fan, but you have to seriously wake up in the NBA. This is the favorite. I like Boston. Do we think with the Jaylen Brown speculation, are they going to get it together and make another run? beat Milwaukee in a 7-game series? Can they do that right now? I think the answer is no. The team that I would like to see Milwaukee against, I want to see him with that Evan Mobley and that Jared Allen pairing. I want to see how your length matches up against that length with Donovan Mitchell on that perimeter and Darius Garland. So now Chris Middleton, he's getting back healthy. Let's look at his stat line for the night. Had 19. Pretty solid game, 9 assists. We know he can facilitate the ball, a two-way player. And I feel like he's really back off that injury. But let's talk about a potential Cleveland matchup. If we get into, semifinals, conference, just hypothetically, if they met in the playoffs, I think you could really wear down Jrue Holiday if you got Darius Garland and you got Donovan Mitchell and we got the length to match that. That's the key thing. Those guys are going to have to stay out of foul trouble. That's the biggest thing, because we see right here, Embiid, I'm talking about this guy, had 4 personals. PJ Tucker had 4 personals. James Harden had 3 personals. These guys all were getting foul calls, but it's really what the game plan was for Milwaukee. Like I said, we're getting in that low post, we're getting the mismatch, and even if we're not getting the mismatch, Giannis, I'm taking Embiid. I'm forcing you to guard one of the best basketball player on this planet right now is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think it's pretty safe to say that. So I'm forcing you to guard me. You can't foul because you're the big man, you're the offense, and you're the defense. You're the driving engine of this team. I think it was a really tough situation for him. I mean, really looking at it, Brook Lopez had 21 plus 12, Giannis plus 21, and then he still had 14 rebounds, still has 6 assists. It's tough. He went 7 for 13 from the 3-point line. And we talk about that so much with Giannis. But look at the 3-point percentage, 10 for 29. They didn't dominate. And for Philadelphia, they went 12 for 36. We always talk about it. If you've watched Milwaukee basketball, you know they're going to leave those 3-point shooters open. So if you're having a rough night, it's gonna be real bad for you, because we talk about getting into the lane. Bobby Portis protecting the rim, Brook Lopez protecting the rim, Giannis protecting the rim. I mean, it's just rim protection. We got perimeter defenders, so we're gonna get out on you with Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton. The playoffs are almost here. The playoffs are almost here. And this game right here, this was everything I needed to see tonight. And quick thing I do want to talk about, just quickly, because these games are still going on. Warriors versus Denver, Pacers versus Cavs. Another game I did watch, the Lakers. AD, special shout out to AD, man. You're balling. You're really balling. And Austin Reeves, LeBron had a pretty solid night outside of the scoring. AD had 40 and 9. You see it right here. So, people saying we overhyping the Lakers. I respect them. Now, I understand they playing the Rockets. This is equivalent to an AAU basketball team. They're not much of anything right now. I like Alperen Sengun. I like Taj. And I like Jalen Green. But right now, we can't take it too far. Pacers versus Cavaliers, a solid. Let's look into this game. Donovan Mitchell at 40. This is our version of Inside the NBA. We really want to break it down and analyze around the league tonight. So, Dean Wade, solid game, plus 15. Garland. I mean, like I said, this is a tough team. They're coming out with Lamar Stevens, Karis LeVert, Cedi Osman, Ricky Rubio. We know what he is. I mean, hey. And those guys, like I said, they have to stay out of foul trouble, because we look at the depth beyond that. They have Robin Lopez, which is nice. He's probably going to be a key guy if we get into a series like that. But I mean, overall, I think the Pacers got some nice guys. I like Mathurin, like Halliburton. That's going to be a team that's looking up. And we look around the association, the Kings and Spurs. Not going to get too much into this game, but Doug McDermott thought he was back at Creighton tonight. He was hitting threes in the fourth quarter and overtime. And key thing I want to talk about is, because when you had the chance, it was fourth quarter, you had the chance to get a go-ahead bucket. Tie game. Mike Brown, I want to know what you were thinking on that play. What was your thought process? Because we had De'Aaron Fox with the ball at half court. He got blitzed. He passed out of it. It was no drawn up play. So you knew that he knew that De'Aaron Fox was going to get blitzed. And we give it to Kevin Huerter. He's taking a contested shot. Why couldn't we drop something better than that? I feel like we have the best offense statistically in basketball. I just wanted to see something better in that scenario. You saw that the San Antonio Spurs were hot. So I wasn't fond of getting into overtime with those guys. I was trying to send them home, pack them up. And we didn't get that done. So you end up losing a game like that. I mean, I think you still going to be in that 3 seed. Memphis probably has that 2 seed wrapped up. So that, that's it. That it is what it is. Going over to this game, Shea had a great night. Watch this game dribble to dribble. And I really said the firepower. I mean, Kevin Durant, 35, Devin Booker, Chris Paul had a solid night too. DeAndre Ayton looked like he wasn't mad at Monty Williams tonight. So you know how that goes. And looking at the Thunder, I think the Thunder have had kind of a weird rebuild to me because they were in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. We talked about it all offseason. We got into the season, and then they started competing. Josh Giddey stepping up, J-Dub, all of those guys, Shea stepping into a superstar role. And I mean, this is a good team, but outside of that, their offense is kind of shaky to me. And I like Jalen Williams. I mean, both of their names are Jalen Williams, but okay, I'm going to pull up. I like this Jalen Williams to pull that up. And, so overall, I think this was a really good game for a team like this, for the Phoenix Suns. I didn't expect the Thunder to win this game, but they competed hard, did what they did. Shea had a great night. I mean, it's kind of what you can expect. It's just this Phoenix team, realistically, they should do it. They should be the ones to do it if anybody can do it. They just have to stay healthy. I mean, looking at the other games, Pistons versus Magic, who's really... Yeah, I like those teams, but come on. We're not talking playoff basketball with those two. Mavericks versus Hawks. Trailblazers beat the Timberwolves. That's kind of a sad one for the Timberwolves because they could have had a chance to jump the Lakers if they kept winning and if the Lakers lose, but they lost. And I mean, I just don't understand with the Timberwolves. I talk about young basketball, and it's just some of that same stuff. Anthony Edwards is good. Karl Towns is good. Jaden McDaniels is good. Mike Conley is good. But you're losing games. And I don't know what it's going to take. Is it a coaching change or what's going to be the click for that team? I think when you traded for Rudy Gobert, you didn't need to do that. You thought that was the move that would put you over the top. I really didn't. I mean, Rudy Gobert, he's nice. I don't see him as a championship player. I don't see him fitting in on a championship team. What's his role? We talk about the teams that are playing. We look at Milwaukee. Okay, they could just play small. Get Giannis on Gobert. Now you're really struggling taking him out of the paint. I don't know. I genuinely don't know for that team. But Nuggets are still beating the Warriors. That's pretty interesting. This game was just close. Now the Nuggets are winning. It was another game that was on. I believe it was the Cavs versus the Pacers, maybe on one of these. But this is a tough loss for the Warriors, actually, because I said the Lakers are trying to get to that 6th seed. And look at the shooting percentages, though. I was watching this game before I recorded this video. Stephen Curry, it's just the shot selection. And you say these are the best shooters to ever play the game of basketball. I understand that. But 2 for 12, 4 for 12. Jordan Poole, look at his shooting percentage. He's 6 for 11 from the field, but 0 for 3 from the three-point line. And they're not hitting. It's a rough night. Defensively, they're not the same basketball team that we once saw. Kevon Looney is nice. He's solid on the boards. But Draymond Green, look at their plus minuses. Minus 14. It's a tough night for Golden State. But I still think getting into the playoffs, this will be a nice contended team. I like the Denver Nuggets. Really just want to see them. I believe in them, but I haven't seen it at the playoffs level. As far as getting deep, they're the number 1 seed, so we're expecting them, hypothetically, to make it out of the West. But can they beat Phoenix? And that's going to really be a series that I need to see. Michael Porter Jr., before I record this video, was having a great game. He probably has 30 right now. Okay, he got 29, plus 11. Jamal Murray having a solid night. And this is no Jokic. So, that's that. But overall, solid night in the NBA. Let me know what you think. What are the key games in this NBA? What do you see in the playoff scenarios? And also, before we get out of this video, key thing. Let's just look at the standings. Before we get out of this, Lakers still in 7th. Clippers are losing. Like I said, Kawhi and Paul George, the health status, yeah, they may play, they may be a late go, but are they really healthy enough to dominate in the game like we usually expect from them? Golden State Warriors going to lose this game, so I think the Lakers have the tiebreaker over Golden State. Now, I just looked at this yesterday. I believe the Lakers have the tiebreaker over the Golden State Warriors, so if they lose this game, they're out. Because they'll be 11.5 games behind. That's making a tiebreaker. No, actually, because the Lakers still have a game to play. They played another game, so they would still be ahead. Okay. So Lakers are still in that 7th seed, but they're feeling pretty good. And yeah, pretty nice. Looking at this, the Thunder lost. The Mavericks also lost, so the Thunder are still in the playoffs. Timberwolves still in. Okay. Looking at the East, I mean, the play-in for the East really isn't as great as it is for the West. I don't think there's as much question marks for the East as it is for the West. Milwaukee Bucks, Boston Celtics, Sixers. Some nice matchups. Chicago had a great night. Levine and DeRozan both went off. But that's going to wrap it up for tonight's video. Like I said, this is some great stuff. Let me know what you think about the format of this video. Having our own type of inside the NBA, really getting the overall gist of these games. Try to stay up as late as possible to watch the games and then come back and make the video. Still gotta edit this up and post it. So this may be out around, you may see it at 12 o'clock. You may see it at 1 a.m. Who knows, but you're getting the best of basketball. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. But now, we out.